Hi, this is Doug Perry of Strategic Dwellings, your one-stop shop for all things related to Top Producer. We offer training, consulting, and big savings on Top Producer and other software for realtors and property managers. Today's video is on syncing your Google and Top Producer accounts. So why would you want to do that? Well, let's talk about Gmail first. If you communicate with your contacts via Gmail, you can continue to do so. You'll see an email history for each contact you've synced. Google Calendar. Appointments you set in Top Producer will appear on your Google Calendar. And finally, Google Voice. If you sync contacts, you can call and text your contacts using Google Voice, and this will speed up your follow-up big time. So the first thing that you want to do is set it all up. So let's deal with the TP sync first. So you go to your account, you go to Settings, then you select the TP Sync tab. Alright, so there's 4 sections to this tab. Sync type, contact sync options, calendar sync options, and Gmail record keeping. So let's deal with the first one, sync type. You'll be presented with 2 types, Google and Outlook. If you select Google, when you go forward, it'll prompt you for your username and password, then it'll return you to this screen. And notice over here it says, before syncing with Google, we recommend that you back up your Google contacts. Probably good advice. The next setting, disable automatic sync. No, you want it to sync automatically, so do not check this box. The second section, contact sync options. Do you want to sync contacts? Yes. Now, always add to sync. Alright, well, we want our new contacts that we create in Top Producer to be synced. We want our new leads that you create in Top Producer to be synced, and you want new leads you receive from lead providers to be synced. Now, note, existing contacts and contacts you import will not automatically be synced. And then the third section, calendar sync options. Yes, you want your calendar to sync. And if you have several calendars, you have to select which one that you want. And then finally, Gmail record keeping. This is kind of an outdated setting. It used to be that if you wanted an email that you created or received in Gmail to be synced to Top Producer, you had to attach a label to it in Gmail. That's not necessary anymore. If you sync the contact, all of the emails to that contact, to or from that contact, will show up in that contact's email history tab. The next thing that we want to do as a part of the setup is we want to go to the email tab. What you want to do is add all of the email accounts that you use in your business here. So if you send or receive an email using one of these accounts to a contact who's synced, it will show up in that contact's email history tab. And then the last step in the setup is the TP email setup. So you go to this sub-tab, and there's a variety of ways that you can set this. You just need to find a way that works for you. I'm going to show you what works for me. Okay, so open email using Top Producer email. You could also use a third-party email client, and what that would do is when you go to open an email in the Top Producer inbox, it'll launch that client. I don't choose that. I just go with the Top Producer email. Default email address. This is the email address that will appear when your recipients receive an email from you. It will be the from email address. Email handling. You can choose to save sent emails in the sent items folder and allow your assistant to access your email. I haven't selected either. And then finally, compose emails using my default email client. If you do that, whenever you get ready to write an email in Top Producer, it'll launch your default email client. I have it set to no. Then you would click Save Email Setup, and then you're good to go. So now let's talk about Gmail. Let's go to one of our contacts, John Doe. So on the Summary tab, there are two sub-tabs, Notes and Email History. You want to select Email History. Now note there's a button for My Email, and if you select that, it'll give you an email history for all of the email accounts that you've set up and for emails that you've sent or received to John Doe. If you click the Top Producer Email button, then you'll see all of the emails that you sent within Top Producer. So let's demonstrate how this works. I'll go to Gmail. I'll send an email to John Doe. And we'll call it test. The time now is 8:32 p.m. So I'll call it test 8:32 p.m. and I'll send this. So then we go back to John Doe, and we want to force a sync, so we'll click Start Sync Now. Notice it says sync in progress. A few more seconds, sync should be complete. We go to My Email, and then we refresh. Now please note that it won't show up instantly. It does take a couple of minutes. So in the meantime, what we're going to do is we're going to send an email to John Doe within Top Producer, confirm that check that out in the email history. So we're going to send him an email, and we'll call it test 8:33 because it's now 8:33 p.m. and then send. If we go to the email history tab, Top Producer email, you see that we see that basically instantly. Test 8:33 p.m. This is an email that I sent within Top Producer. Okay, now let's talk about Google Calendar. Okay, so if we set an appointment in Top Producer, it'll show up on our Google Calendar. So let's say we're going to meet John Doe for dinner. We're going to meet him tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. until 8 p.m. Click Save Appointment. If you want to see this on your Google Calendar immediately, force sync. Sync in progress. We go to our Google Calendar, and you see the appointment appears. If you want to tweak the appointment, you go in. We could add a location. Rosebud Restaurant on West Taylor. We want to send an email invitation to John Doe. So because he's synced, his email address will come up. And it's probably a good idea to add a notification to remind him so he doesn't forget. You click Save, send the invitation. Okay, now let's talk about Google Voice. Now, once you sync your contacts, you can call and text them from Google Voice. And this is just going to just speed up your follow-up big time. So in Google Voice, all you have to do is press C and begin to type in their name, and Google will begin to fill in their phone number. And then you simply hit enter a couple of times. And you can hear my phone ringing in the background. Now, you can also text using Google Voice. So you just press T for text. You begin to type in John Doe's name, hit enter, type a message, send. And you probably heard that in the background. Text received. So, in conclusion, let's talk about Gmail. If you communicate with your contacts via Gmail, you can continue to do so. You'll see an email history for each contact you've synced. Google Calendar, appointments you set in Top Producer will appear on your Google Calendar. Google Voice. If you sync contacts, you can call and text your contacts using Google Voice. This will speed up your follow-up big time. Remember, Strategic Dwellings is your one-stop shop for all things related to Top Producer. If you need training, consulting, or software at a discount, contact us at either the phone number or email address below. Thanks and have a great day.